that we can operate from Britain on a par with the pound note as original. Right? We've got a pound note, we've got a king, and we've got a flag, and that's all you needed to make a title. Right? We've got a Moai. Two of the most powerful memorials in the world is King William Emperor, King William III and King William IV. Emperor and Moai statue, the face of God's truth, Lord, L-O-R-E. So that's to define who we are. When the kids say, when someone says to the kids, who are you? They can say, we come from here, we come from there, and we're connected to there. And they can identify themselves further than what they have before with the Moai, because that's Tahitian, right? Tainui, Ngāti Parau, Ngāpui is Tahitian. Set aside from Arawa is Hawaiian. So it doesn't go from the fact that one had the tikanga, that's Raiatea, and it was my auntie was a school teacher, Irina, she died now, and she was going back and forth to Raiatea. And so when they took the Moai statue, that's where I was, when Queen Victoria took the Moai statue of East Island, the first one,
yeah, that's right. Yeah.
and took it to England, they took the people off East Island and dropped them back to Raiatea.
The Queen stole Moai.
Yeah, she stole the first one. So I'm holding her to that. That God didn't say to put it over there. Because you've got it there now, we're there. Yeah? We're going there to be there with the Moai. The Moai sits on his ahu, on his whenua. The bottom piece is the ahu on the land. I say, he's here, that means I'm here. See, I give you the right to be there. That's what I'm saying to Jamie and everybody. And even Waitangi, they've suddenly woken up and says, well, go. See? I say, I'm still here. I just have to go, now I've got to get my ticket. How are you going to do that? I said, easy. I just, there. He says, where's the money? There, it's on the land. I said, that's a bad boy. We'll just confiscate it. He says, why are you going to do that? I said, well, that's what they did to you, didn't they? They confiscated your land because they had some use for it. And you couldn't show a piece of paper that says, I have use for this land. Right? So that's where Queen Victoria came in. In a number of things, Queen Victoria set up in 1848 the trust, Queen Victoria Trust. That's another entity that's our more or less inheritance. Right? And then we've got the Queen making deals with the trust with other countries. Well, we don't worry about what she did with it. We worry about the account to investigate and audit the account. That's what I'm doing, to audit the account to see where it went and where's the crown jewels.
Okay.
That's why I'm getting on the crown jewels, because the crown jewels really is hinged around that 8-point star.
Yep.
And why our flag's got four 8-point stars.
Yep.
Right?
I've been watching all your.
So all we have to do is stand there and claim it.
Yeah.
See? If you can call yourself anything, if you look like a native, you sound like one, and and you got something to show, and in your own handwriting, right?
Yep.
What's that? I was here. I claim to be this, that, and that, and I'm come from my home to your home to do what you did to me in your home. See, we're going to come here and try it on you. But anyway, I'm saying in any transaction, it started off from someone's authority to do it. Right? You'll end up, America, you'll still end up on this flag. It's because America's owned by Britain, like I was saying. When they took the Moai off that island, that's when it started, all that racket off with transactions. Because they had to have swear to God, and you ask them, which God? In the court. in the parliament, which God, they won't tell you. They're not obligated to tell you because it's private. And so if the flag is the only flag in the world that's private and it's nobody's business, only me and the other one. See?
Mm.
So that's third party if anybody interferes. That's why I'm on Cook Street. The other ones came in when it was a default contract, when I'm saying to someone, show me your title. Where'd you get it from? See, so we've got enough to do, and you can do the same thing on your land, but all I had to do is tick it off because Kingy will say yes anyway. I've trained them. In English. So, you know, I'm saying he's got it. He's a military man, and he knew there was some connection to someone that's using it on his land. I said, Kingy, your mate, Jerry Mataparai, said to you, you told me, he wanted to be a Governor General, and you said to me, in my brain, you wanted to be a chief. And I'm telling you, with my brain, I want to be a king. He said, you agree? And he says, yep, so far, yep, carry on. I says, well, Kingy, your mate has taken your land, and he's going to be the governor, the ambassador in England to sell the rest of the Maori land. Right in front of your nose. He's doing it now, but I want to tell you how he's doing it. And he says, how's he doing it? In the marae on the other side. And he says, these people over here saying this is not a marae. I says, it looks like one. It looks like one, King. It's got our carvings in there. That says something, but it's political, and they're using it for something else, Kingy. What can you tell me what they'll be using it for? And he says, I don't know. He says, after all this time.
Yeah.
I said, Kingy, that's a courthouse. It's a courthouse, Kingy. And they come into your whare, into Te Marae, to get permission to do their business on the other side. Eh? And I said, you have to ask before you can go in there on your land. I said, Kingy, this is how you do it. You just write them a letter. I'll write it. He said to me, oh, you write it. I said, Kingy, the way to do signatures is electronically. If you agree with me that I'll use your electronic signature, so I don't have to come and see you all the time as a nuisance and cost me gas. I don't want to come and see you just to get he said, okay. So all that did was gave me the written authority to use his authority to do what I'm doing in the courts here. And that just made more weight from the strongest marae in the world. Or of authority, that the Queen, that's the Queen's business, right? That's the Queen's business, and Jerry Mataparai is the president of Waitangi National Trust. Private business.
Okay.
That's why
I
you
didn't
can't
even know
touch
that.
the Queen. No one can inquire into her business except another sovereign as equally on those terms of the use of that power. In fact, it's fraud for anybody to use it without our knowledge.
Okay. Yeah.
See?
Yep.
It gets morbid.
And our Tipuna were part of the
Yeah.
sovereign flag too, eh?
Yes.
Our Tipuna, all our Tipuna.
Yeah. All it did was it took just an agreement
Back in
of a contract.
1835.
It's a contract between two people. So it's a contract between a king and a native. You only need one native chief to do it. Like John Key, he's running this whole place off the rails, and that's just one person, right? You don't need a whole bunch of people around to tell you no, yes, no, yes, no, no. He has the last say. He appoints the Governor General.
Kapai.
So he libels that what they've done here, in my case, they came and stripped my shirt off me in here, that had the king on it. And they didn't know that. There was something like a mechanic, you know. Don't touch. But that was an offence to start a process of a case in the New Zealand Crimes Act 1961. It's just a long list of everything that they've done wrong, and it's pinned them one by one because the Pope destroyed. You used the what the Pope said, he destroyed all trusts and corporations. It's up to you whether you want to use it or not. But in this case, I'm using it on them as just another block the hole from escaping prosecution from a private investigator. Right? You can call yourself anything if you think you know you can use it. So anybody that wants to be a sheriff is going to read the short instructions and follow suit, because they'll have the right to go and seize something, and the police have got to follow. Once the police give in and stand aside, it allows me to bring them in to go and get it. That's where we're at now, right now. But that's just letting you know that side of the process of how to deal on the legal side in the system, right? All the other guys that came in the court with me and got arrested, they've been trying the right thing to do, but the court won't wear it because he says it's not on my books.
Oh.
You know, you might you can't use that law of the straw man and all those sorts of things in this court. I wasn't going to do that. I was going to just stick to the law and make the law own up.
Sometimes they get in trouble with the cops doing their mahi.
Yeah.
They do
If you're
it
trying to
legally,
be sovereign,
but
if you're trying to be sovereign, like a few of them, it does work sometimes. Only on a good day when the judge is listening to you and let one or two go through, but not always. Because if it's going to touch their bank, if it's going to affect their bank, then they'll jump in. If you're going to try and get something out of them, it's very difficult to try and sue the court or someone and try and expect to get money out of it. That's why I'm saying, I don't want the money, I just want you to get out of the road so I can take the land. Right? So that's that part covered, but I'm modelling it so that the next one can do it anywhere in the world. Don't forget, this is not limited to here. The flag takes us around the world. So when you see what I've got on site, 250 countries, I make statements clear that we have the right with Britain to pick up this flag and go straight around 250 countries, right? So it's very, very efficient if you know how to use it for the first time. In 182 years, we haven't used it yet for what it was meant for, other than protest, right? This is more than protest. The other flags, the Tainui flag, they haven't got a contract. They've got agreements and declarations and things, but not a contract, a bank contract. This is what this is. This is a commercial trading bank flag. And the black strip around the red cross, that's the military. You need the military to keep the pirates away. What they've done, what the Queen has done, is using the military on people, they call us the pirates. Right? It's supposed to be for them, the pirates, between here and England, anybody stopping our trade. Right? That's what it was for. It was to protect the trade of the old chiefs in the old days from anybody hijacking the ships in the sea. And so we're going to use it effectively for commerce. And that's why I'm glad that you're in the Treasury a bit, because we're on that now. So I'm going to explain with the mobile phone. The mobile phone, what happens is this. To be a member, anybody in the world, you need the numbers. There's not enough Maoris to take the whole world on, or anybody for that matter. You'll not have enough for a government, to form a government, so that's more ruling out for the meantime. It's better to go with British government and apply it here. Alright? That's what we're doing.
Which is what you do, yeah.
The Moai Crown, King William IV, Commonwealth Government of the world, are making a claim that this flag is what it is. You've got the British flag sitting at Waitangi opposite this one, and it's there for a reason. One was commerce, the other one was England. Right?
Yeah.
One was a trading, shipping, merchant flag, right, of merchandise and bill of lading, all the shipping to get from A to B. That's that one. Now, so all we have to do is to claim our position on the world stage, and that's where the young ones will pick up what he wants to be: fly a plane,
That's what
or,
we're
or,
up to.
or
too.
drive a ship,
Yeah.
or run the computers, or run this bank. That's the bank.
That's all right.
That's the bank. We don't need a bank as such. We only need just the tag pay is just like FBOS. It goes to another bank.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
It triggers through. It's only cost you one text. So if I send you money,
Get onto it. Yeah.
I just ring up TagPay, put your number in to ring you. Your phone rings, and I just transfer the money straight through into your account, just like that. If you're under a rock in Africa, you'll get the money straight away. Right? That's how we. And before I forget, all the employees, all the membership who are working for Moai will get paid straight out of credit.
Wow.
In somebody's money in that country. So it'll come to you not in pound notes, because the currency is in pound notes. It'll come to you in New Zealand dollars, right? Because it's converted.
Yeah.
On our end, we pay the cost of the transfer through the bank. On your end, when you deposit money, which you don't have to, it'll cost you to transfer it into pound notes or leave it in the account in New Zealand dollars. So when we run our business accounts, it stays in New Zealand dollars from pound notes, so you're getting more for your dollar. What happens is this, while I'm thinking about it. The British pound note that Rothschilds own, they own the Bank of England. King William IV put the legislative acts together for the Bank of England Act and the Pound Note Act. That gives us full advantage to shut them down. That's what I'm doing online now. On our court is online. Everything I put online is court. When you go online and you clock in to buy Powerhouse, it's a court straight off. Anywhere under a rock, you can still run your business from your mobile phone.
Yep.
So the kids will be on as members as well. So if you register them, they automatically have rights to that Cook Street recovery. There's 2.5 billion tied up in there in New Zealand dollars in all their business. That's what's going straight in the account.
That's all right.
When I go on that land block, I'll just tell you graphic what I tried to do in 2012. When I go onto their land block, I ring up the broker in the bank, NZ, to come up. He cites the name on the Moai site and the flag and the nameplate and the phone number, and we got possession. We got possession, and then I say make an appointment with the bank. I go down, I open one of the £1 trillion notes, and says right, deposit it, and they'll deposit it on the strength of that title land. One block of land will open up the way for £1 trillion note for them to buy instead of going to the World Bank. So if the interest rate is, I don't know what it is, 2.5%, well say if it's 5% interest here, that pound note in British equivalent, pound note, is worth 5 billion returned straight off in interest, something like that. And that goes back to the shareholders or the members
Yep.
in what's left over at the end of it. And I'll just mention this, that we disperse every week. Accounts are up to date, not salary for a year, but whatever we have in surplus will go straight into the mobiles, right through the will, and split out as dividends. There. So we have to disperse of the benefit of being in the system to all those people who are in with a free £25 share. See? So if you work that out, when your brain gets busy when he goes home. I've been through it with my little screwdriver, my spanner, and my torque wrench, and I've tightened up all the screws legally. So in any case, the cost of doing transaction is minimal because you're using the bank in that country on transferring money, and the fee is all there is to it in the text, and the amount that's held in take pay for a short period of time. Yeah. So all it does, it makes business efficient.
Yeah.
That if you've got planning, I'm going to assess the block. It's about 45 hectares. So all I'm doing is this. If you can think, if you took a square metre of land and divide it into New Zealand and split up the cost of what we make out of Cook Street, you'll get a fair idea of what it is. As an annual return on every other tenant. Tenant that's occupying the land. We get one land, it's right through the will. On any piece of land that the Queen says she owns, the King owns. See? That's through 38 Commonwealth countries, including America. And if you go down to Howick and places like Otara on the other side, you see all the buildings going up, you'll think, where did it all come from? Where did it all come from? You see? So some money has sneaked in the country because of the system being fraud on the tax havens. The Panama tax havens. That goes into the little cubby box of fraud business. So with Moai, you've got fraud business, you've got tidal turbine hydrogen, we're going to get onto that on that block of land at home, and kick it off. It's all ready to go. As soon as I get on Cook Street, that kicks in. That's another income straight off. So there's no need to borrow money. It's standing right in front of you if you count the amount of fraud there is.
Yeah,
and that's not a hard job to do. You'll get qualified in the weekend. I'll soon know how good you are at knocking doors to check all your boundaries and everybody to see if it's in it for them. Which side you want to be on, the credit or the debit. So those are the sort of seminars I'd like to have a Trump rally to tell them the same story, but if you tell one then they'll tell the other. That's how it works out. And you'll say, if the kids only pick it up after you see a model, then they'll be very busy little kids. Might see them for a while. So, but I'm only thinking that they're all on mobiles now, and it's the best tool there is to do all this.
Yep.
That's why I've gone through a lot of trouble to put everything online, and very difficult to try and teach Jamie how to do it. I gave her the shares and it went, oh, different. And I could never get it back to how it was in the first place. And then, never mind, that's all right, but somebody's got to do it. So I've got to still look for people that I can trust, that can administer these sort of things in this business, because they're going to be Chinese, Japanese, all sorts of people.
Yep.
You need them because they'll let the things go in their country the Japanese bring them here, it's quicker to get them to put all the egg farms up in ones that they know how to do, and surplus feed ourselves, and they'll set up the markets where their water is paru, right? So it just goes like someone who knows how to do things. Might not necessarily be qualified, but it's a good thing to be qualified, but know what to do.
Yeah.
Hands-on experience. We can, with this sort of system, we can do it with the mobile.
Yep.
And set up contracts straight off.
Sure.
So all you have to do is look up a piece of land and you think that cows, no, not cows, hemp. No. See? So we have patents for our own honey. Right? That's what these fellows at the East Coast do. They said, John, how are we going to get our own honey for ourselves? Because it all goes to that Orvita or whatever it is. And all the honeys, they do. I said, well, let's work on it a bit at a time. And we'll set it up, the patent. I'm talking about everything we do is going to be patent.
Good.
Right, straight to Britain.
We're doing some of those.
We can. What happened was New Zealand went off the British law but changed it to suit themselves. They altered the acts. So we do the same thing. We're starting from scratch. 1837. We got all the piracy acts in there where they've legislated them out in the other countries so that you can't. Now we can. We can apply everything because it's our business.
Yep.
Yeah.
In private.
Yep.
And so that's, if you know that now, you'll know how the thing works when we kick in. Like I'm saying, as soon as I get Cook Street, this all kicks in. You've got to better be ready because otherwise you'll miss the first opportunity for being in at the front end. And very few people like say, well, believe it when I see it, sort of thing. But it was a one-on-one like this that I've never had. Those people don't know other than just looking at it online. No one's bothered to read a lot of stuff I put on there, unless you have a fair idea if it works, then you can see it happening if we do it. You see?
Yeah.
So skeptics aside, we just have to get the pound note rolling.
Yep.
Right? Pound note, flag, king, chief. What else?
Yeah.
See? So
Nice.
what I want to do for the kids is to set up training centres for all these things. That make them busy, but they're getting paid strength account of their mobiles. Right? So that they'll be getting equally as much as you. Only thing is difference is your salary will be different to theirs. They'll be equal. They'll have bright ideas. They'll put suggestions in the suggestion box. Right? They'll say, "Oh, I got something I invented, and I want to see if you can do something." So we'll say, what's it worth? I've got a drone, it can get me around. And it says, oh well, show us. You see? So they'll show me. It says, right. Then we have to disperse the profit. You can't hold it. You have to disperse it anywhere it's needed, or if we think it's a good idea. I'll just get on the phone, you guys are on Skype, and say, what's happening? I say, oh, we got something here the kids want to do. So you make them participate to pay for their coin. To help to, get their own things in their bedroom or whatever. But that's how it works. They will take an interest in flicking around. They can fly planes online, but I've got things for aircraft as well, because I've been a pilot before, to get that going, training, and for ships and things like that. But I want to get from A to B quick. And that's what this tidal project is for, the hydrogen planes. No one's got them, the filling station for them. So that's another goal for them when they start seeing those sort of things are out there, but we're not able to tap into it because of the funding. So it opens doors up, one shot, to get all that going, and we've modelled it out first come, first basis. Best dressed, best smile.
I'll be smiling.
Oh, I've got to get some more teeth. I don't care. And some more hair. But, you know, I'm just saying, I'll be able to get some. I'll get the best ones. Stem cells. So, with saying that, we'll have things on those sites. All the sites I've got, I think there's 68 sites altogether on Facebook. And to split them off into, kids might have their own website off the Moai. You'll find that they'll be eager to have their own website on the Moai. The Moai sends them around the world. They can get on a plane and go on. If the other country wants to come here and bring exchange students, they come this way. They come this way. There's other people in Hungary and America, and they want to get on now. I said, wait, don't be impatient, just wait. They have to wait because there's no one driving it. So in all of that, it will take like another student association to put their ideas and their own plans of what to do with the land. That's what I'm saying to my kids. You tell me what you want to do with it. Because I've got my own ideas. There's plenty of land. I'm going in the sea. Well, there's more land under the sea. you can't go where I'm going. See, so there's plenty of people that can do those sort of things. It's a learning curve, a steep learning curve, for them to get interested in something of a career. And
Nice.
anybody.
Yeah.
It's good to have other people to in the area. You'll have immigrants and all that sort of people that have got skills too.
Yep.
But we have the trump card. We don't exploit it. If this got in the hands, the wrong hands, they would exploit it.
No doubt.
In some ways, if Matua was able to have this, it would go some different direction from what I'm thinking. I'm sticking on a pure spirit level of Moai and what a king would do.
Yeah.
Yeah, what a king would do and what the Moai stands for. Right? The Moai is a different approach to what you see now. The Pope throwing the Bible away, throwing Jesus away, and then going after the ISIS to make more money out of the ISIS. I mean Islam. And you see the